So despite it being absolutely destroyed by the critics on Rotten Tomatoes, I personally really enjoyed Lift on Netflix. I think it's a really fun comedy heist movie that doesn't take itself too seriously and is just such a great film to kick off the year in a really cool and light-hearted way. I mean, the international travel with all of its beautiful locations were just a feast for the eyes, and all of the heist planning and then seeing how they're going to deal with it when all of their plans go wrong was so awesome. And of course, all of the action sequences looked really wicked too, and I think that they packed in quite a lot within its modest runtime, and you can just really tell that they've spent so much money on this film, as it doesn't feel cheap and it doesn't feel like they were cutting any corners, and in fact I think it looked really wicked. And the opening act alone, I mean, was really awesome in terms of showcasing how this motley crew are actually pretty sophisticated in their operations, and it had the perfect balance of being really suave as well as being really adrenaline fueled as well. Now, whilst the ending was a little bit predictable, I thought that the way in which they executed it all was actually really clever and really nicely sets itself up for a sequel if this one is successful. I mean, everyone loves having a bit of a prying eye into the world of the rich and famous, and so all of the exuberance and the extravagance on display in this film was truly amazing to watch, and actually how psychotic certain people that are really rich can be. I mean, on that point, let's go through all of the cast members one by one. So I am just the biggest fan of Kevin Hart, and I feel like he is super talented, and it was actually really refreshing seeing him playing something different to his standard signature comedic over-the-top style performances. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think he does such a good job when he's really in his element, like in The Man from Toronto, which I was just laughing at from start to finish non-stop. And even though he obviously was comedic in this film, it was really nice to see him being a bit of a smooth operator and heist boss in this movie, who genuinely really does care about the well-being of his team. I really liked his reluctant partner in crime, Abby, especially as she starts off as a bit of an uptight Interpol leader that shares a bit of a past with Cyrus, and then very quickly joins the gang herself on the mission, which was actually pretty wicked, especially as she was so valuable in, for example, getting them the private jet in the first place, fighting people in battle, and being a really cool link with the wider government when they needed her. Billy Magnussen was really cool as Mangus. I mean, the undercover electronics expert aspect of him was actually really believable, and he brought that unpredictable and unhinged energy to the character that actually worked really well as well. I really like the idea of Vincent D'Onofrio playing a bit of a master of disguise, but they didn't really use him at all. What an absolute waste. They could have done something that was super fun, super intense, and I was just waiting for it, but it just never happened, which was just such a shame. Sam Worthington being the ultimate douchebag leader that is even willing to have a NATO plane shoot down these guys when one of his colleagues is in there in order to prevent this bad guy getting his hands on all of the gold was next level ruthless. And so it was somewhat satisfying seeing this awful guy getting what's coming to him by the end. I thought the wider team members were really wicked, especially as they all played their individual parts so well, and you can really see that every single one of them was really valuable, as they could not have got away with this massive heist plan without any of them. And I think this movie is the perfect example of how you properly do diversity, as you can really see that this movie has got a wide range of individuals from all over the world, but it's never at the detriment of the storyline. So I just honestly think this movie just does diversity in the perfect way. And I thought it was really good how they show that actually it's a lot of high stakes involved in this mission, and a number of people don't actually want to be involved with that, because a number of people do actually die in these movies. And so from a craftsmanship perspective, I think this movie was put together really well. And going 180, this is why I don't agree with a lot of the critics, because actually I think this movie was put together really well. So, you know, whilst Lift isn't the best movie ever made, I thought it was thoroughly enjoyable and a really great movie to kick off the new year with. And for all of those reasons, I'm going to give it a solid 7 out of 10. Now I'd love to hear from you. What did you think of Lift? Let us know all of your thoughts in the comment section below, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.